veritable pathway for growth and inclusive prosperity. After all, we are only largely as strong as the weakest among us. And I get to be asked often as a governor, how have you been able to increase your revenue exponentially over the period you've been in government? And by the way, we've had to increase our IGR over 1,000% from 30 billion naira to today over 500 billion. And for us, I will tell you, so there are two things here. Economic inclusion, what it means to us is that we cannot grow our economy at the expense of our common humanity. So which means that we have to carry the weakest among us. We have to design programs and policies that target those vulnerable ones, those very weak ones among us. Then, of course, financial inclusion. And that is where I'll be hoping to charge the private sector to come up with a product paper that would see huge investment in the digital infrastructure and also increase the fintech footprint and penetration. That way, we're able to essentially provide financial services to those very low ones in our society. And so I commend very much this initiative. I commend the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for this great initiative. And I see it, as I did mention earlier, as a veritable platform to achieve our growth. Because the only thing we've done in Enugu to increase our revenue, our IGR, is essentially making sure that we ensure that everybody comes into the financial service. We have not increased our tax rates, we have just expanded the net to bring in everybody. And it's not going to happen because we wish it to happen. We're going to have to design programs, policies for that to happen. So I want to see this, and I indeed consider this as a call to national service, and I pledge to devote my utmost best to ensure the actualization of this noble objective. Once again, I thank the Vice President for nominating me to serve in the Governance Committee. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you very much. While Governor Mbah was giving his remark, our people who were financially included to completely be excluded. Today, as we are speaking, we need to look at the statistics and the data before us. I had the lead consultant speaking, and I believe for the first time they are really determined to address this issue together with all the relevant key stakeholders here with us. For me, it's something that's unacceptable when you see a country like Nigeria, about 60% of our people who are particularly in rural areas, completely financially excluded. That for me is unacceptable. And that is the reason why, despite the fact that this current government have done a lot in trying to address social issues in Nigeria, we've seen a lot of initiatives by relevant government agencies, ministries toward addressing the issue of poverty. But to this moment, we have not been achieving much result, because it's either most of those efforts are going to the wrong people, or at all, they're not working completely. Because we're in a country where we have people that are living below the poverty line, almost 70%. That was the last statistics before us. And I believe if we address this issue effectively with the leadership given to us by His Excellency the Vice President, and all the stakeholders sitting here today are committed and determined, I have no doubt in my mind we will address this problem within a very short time. Again in Kaduna, that was the reason why when I came in as the governor in April last year, we signed executive order. Our first executive order was on financial inclusion. And we looked through, we realized that 3.5 million of our people, particularly those in the rural areas who are financially excluded, those people, you can say they're vulnerable, underserved, and poor within our society. But today I'm happy. As a government, deliberately, we embark and aggressively put a committee that today we have open accounts for 2.2 million people that were financially excluded when we came in. And that is the reason why I can say clearly a lot of people are benefiting from social investment support, either from the federal government or from Kaduna State government. That is the way to go. We have not been able to achieve our goal of 3.7 million or 3.5 million because of some factors. But today I'm happy. I've seen NIMSI here. I've seen the Minister of Communication that are also here. I think they are represented, Minister of Finance, other relevant stakeholders with us here, because we have a lot of problems, particularly the digital infrastructure we are lacking. And I feel that is the reason why the lead consultants should work together and ensure that that deficit is addressed. The second thing is, which is key also, is network connectivity. You cannot address this problem. Today, as we are speaking, Nigeria is one of the most cashless countries in the whole world. That's the statistics. Probably we have not looked at that. Look at the currency in circulation, look at the currency in the banks. The Minister of Finance will bear with me. More than 90-something%, I'm not, maybe 92-93% of our currency is in the bank. Only about 6% is in circulation. That is not even the standard in Europe or in America. And when you look at our people, again, that is a fact. When you look at our people again, today as we are speaking, we cannot rely on our banks, because we have about 4,300 thereabout of the branches of national banks in Nigeria, Mr. Minister of Finance. But when you look at it, come to Northwest, where I come from, only Kaduna and Kano have about 140 or 150 branches of national banks. Other states in northern Nigeria is either 55, 45. I was talking to one of the governors who is a friend of mine, the governor of Katsina State. He was telling me only 10 local governments you have branches of banks in the whole of Katsina out of 34 local governments. That is Katsina. You can go to other states. The situation is even worse. Not to talk of microfinance banks. So if we don't address financial inclusion and trying to create all this enabling environment where we address the digital infrastructure, network connectivity, bringing our people back to financial services sector, we may not be able to lift our people out of poverty. We cannot create jobs. We cannot address even the problem of insecurity, the NSA. These are also issues, because poverty is another factor that's causing the problem. And I think we need to address that as soon as possible. That's why I want to finally again commend the leadership of the Vice President. If we have had this kind of meetings years ago, some of us raised this issue many years ago. I was in the Senate with my leader and my boss, the Vice President, His Excellency in the 9th Senate. And Mr. Vice President will agree with me. I sponsored the Welfare Act, where I amended the act. It was obsolete for 29 years. As a senator, it was my bill. I amended the Welfare Act that was obsolete for 29 years, where we had the Welfare 2020 right now, assented by the previous government or the president. Today, I think there are many other areas we need to look into, and also to strengthen the institutions that are working around financial services sector in Nigeria. Having said that, I want to also give my own support and assurance that I will support this 100% by the grace of God. Thank you, and God bless you.